Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to The Cosmic Catch-Up. I'm Corri.
And I'm Dana. We're real-life sisters who said no thanks to the 9-to-5 grind and yes, please, to the stars, spirit, and soul-led living.
Around here, we're talking ascension, astrology, human design, sound healing, and the messy magic of waking up.
So if you've ever thought, there's got to be more than this, you're our people. Two sisters, deep talks, whole lot of magic. Let's catch up. Hey.
Hi. So, I like your green top.
Thanks. I like your green top.
And your black bottoms.
Yes, and yours too.
Yeah.
And yours too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're dressed.
Today's our twinning day.
The same, and this happens to us quite a bit.
Yeah, it was accidental.
It's always accidental.
Yeah, we don't plan it.
It is never intentional that we dress the same.
Yes.
But it does happen a fair amount.
When I showed up, I was like, oh, wow, we look exactly the same today.
Wearing the same outfit.
So we're just going to go with it.
We are. But I did try to send both you and our guest some telepathy. I think it was last night when I was thinking about what I was going to wear today. I was sending the mental note of, I'm wearing green. I'm wearing green. I'm wearing green.
So do you know what's kind of funny, not funny, is that I had a completely different top on. And then I was like, I really am feeling called to wear green.
Shoot.
So I think your telepathy backfired in the sense of, I heard green.
You heard green, and so you wore green. Like you heard wear green.
Wear green.
You didn't hear that I was wearing green, and that you should.
Correct.
That meant you should wear something else.
Correct, because I literally had on a different top, and I said, you know what? I really think I should wear green today. I ironed this shirt and everything, so I was like, all right, I'm wearing green.
Well, then you're definitely wearing it because you spent time ironing it. So I do. I think you're right. I think it worked and also backfired at the same time.
Yes, but it's good practice regardless.
Yeah,
so
we're just practicing right now.
Continue practicing your telepathy.
Yeah.
My sleep is crazy.
We'll see. This is another special episode where we have a guest, so we'll see what our guest is wearing.
I know. It's exciting. So, yes, our good friend, Lynley VanSingel, is going to join us today. And she is all about the woo, so I'm really excited to chat with her. And still in corporate America.
I love it. And she brings it to corporate America.
That's right.
So we consider Lynley our alchemist seeker. She is dedicated to embodying authenticity in every way. The awakening journey started nearly a decade ago for her.
And we're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about all that, how she got into it. And she combined her curiosity and passion in learning multiple modalities of energy healing that she practices today.
Definitely going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. And we said she's in the corporate world. So she is devoted to people development, and that has fueled her career as an executive in human resources. And she spends her time connecting with family, friends, traveling, reading, and creating because she's a Sag like me.
We'll probably talk about that too.
Yeah, we will.
So, well, I say let's welcome Lynley and let's get into it.
I love it.
Hi, how are you, Lynley?
I'm good. How are you?
Excited to have you.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the Cosmic Catch-Up. And I see you're wearing green today.
I wonder how that happened.
Okay, my telepathy worked and didn't work at the same time. It was good, but sort of backfired on me. So everyone wore green.
So next time, you're going to need to call it a color that you're not wearing.
That I'm not wearing, yeah.
So that we know that's the color to wear. So,
yes.
But you look lovely. We
Beautiful.
love it.
Thank you.
Love
I'm glad
the
I
dress.
could match the sisters.
Yes.
We're feeling money today, I think.
I think we are. Money
love
and healing. Yeah, money and
Yeah,
healing.
I love it.
And heart.
Yeah. What y'all can't see for our listeners is that I have a green sofa in this room and a green rug. So I'm a little bit obsessed with
A
green.
lot of green happening. Well, we're excited to have Lynley join us today. And we already gave you the brief introduction, but I think what I have always loved with Lynley is that she brings a lot of woo even to her most rational, like, she works in corporate America, and maybe it's that defined head and ajna that you have. You can be very rational, but you're very woo as well. Mm-hmm. And there's just something very magical and mystical about you. I don't know if you felt that, but so I think we should start with, because we all met at our intuitive happy hours, but when did your spiritual awakening journey start?
Yeah. So
May have to be a little bit closer too.
about a decade ago. So actually, I think my spiritual awakening started with therapy. It was the first time, and I think it was like 2016, 2017. It was the first time that I paused long enough to actually think about what was going on. Much like many of us, I was climbing the corporate ladder, holding down a family, raising a child, helping with aging, sick parents, just all the things.
Yeah.
And so it was go, go, go all the time and not a lot of thinking. And so I think my awakening journey started in therapy and then, of course, as you know, progressed far beyond that.
So I love that it started with therapy. What steps did you take as you started? Because like when we talked about ours, Dana had a dark night of the soul.
Yes.
Mine didn't really come about that way. It was more nudges. How would you say yours showed up?
Oh, yeah. Mine was like a hard bottom out. So, one of my best friends, Rosemary Rivera, at the time we worked together, but didn't really know each other that well. In fact, I kind of thought she was a little crazy. I think she thought I was a little crazy. And one day, we're having this moment of trust, I think. Our boss was leaving the company and I had gone out on a limb and told her, hey, this is happening. And no one had told her. She had no idea. And we kind of bonded in that moment. And I think we were both going through some parallel hard times. And very randomly and rapidly, we became very good friends. I was having marital troubles. My ex-husband was going through some of his own life events, and she randomly was like, this lady, she does Reiki and I'm going to go. And I was like, well, I want to go. Give me her phone number.
Had you heard of Reiki before that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I had no idea what it was. I thought it was like a massage. So I was just like, sign me up, right? I like a massage.
Yeah.
So without even Googling it,
This is very Sagittarius energy. I can speak because I know.
did not know how to spell it, so probably wouldn't have been able to like Google it anyways. I remember I had to leave early work because I worked late most days and I had to leave right at 5 to drive to North Richland Hills to get Reiki by a woman named Wanda Ironheart. And I could not have been more thrilled. So I drive up and I'm looking around and I'm like, zero expectations. We're just going to do this.
Good.
Got cash in my pocket. And I go in and just have this experience that even to this day, I think I don't know that I can really describe it other than I walked in with a lot of heaviness and I walked out with a lighter load.
Wow.
And I couldn't really even tell you how that happened. It was a very weird experience that I still love. And if you knew me at the time, it was so transformational. Like I was sending everyone her way. Like I was the biggest referral source ever. Rosemary also had a session. And if you met Rosemary, she's very buttoned up, very corporate, like not a hair out of place, where I'm like normally a little bit more out there, big hair, loud.
Big personality.
Very refined. And I think it just made me feel better about what was happening, that this very refined corporate lady was also doing this. I think at the time, though, we were both just in really bad spaces and we needed something to help us.
Can you tell me then, or tell us, all of us, what is Reiki? Because you said you went in not knowing what it was. And so a lot of people are like, what is it? And you had an incredible experience.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So I will say this. Reiki is a form of energy healing. And for me, it was a gateway into some of my own natural gifts. So Reiki is the idea that we have an energetic field, which you've talked about on your podcasts. So you've probably heard about that. And that much like our mental and physical bodies, there's an energetic field that needs to be tended to. And Reiki is essentially healing hands. And it's passing energy, only energy that can do no harm. That's a part of Reiki. Through another energetic field, whether it's a person, an animal, a home, a structure, a tree, the ground, and it's sending healing vibes. That's essentially what Reiki is. What I was having done to me at the time, I call Reiki Plus. Wanda Ironheart is an amazing healer, and she uses multiple modalities. So what she was doing was Reiki and some other things. I actually practice a lot of different energy modalities, and at this time, most of mine belong to me and have been given to me that I use uniquely, but it's very similar to Reiki. It's just about the intention of healing the energy, and you can do that in your mind's eye or through voice, but it's just a healing touch.
I love that. I want to get more into that, but not yet, because we're still talking about your awakening and your, going through hard times. And so, fast forward. So when did you start showing up at Intuitive Happy Hours?
Ooh, okay. It was less than a year after I had kind of opened up my eyes to this whole other world. Okay. And very Sagittarius, probably like you. I'm very curious, and whenever I'm in. So it was all in, all consuming. I saw your episode where you talked about a crystal being the gateway. I mean, I remember listening to 10 different podcasts on crystal. Like, what the hey is this? I don't know, but I'm going to buy them because if this can help me, let's do it type of thing. But honestly, the crystals help me understand the power of intention and the power that we give, the meaning that we give to so many different things. So it was certainly a very important part, but it ultimately led me to a lot of different teachers and healers, and Jenny Hussey being one of them. So that led me, and ultimately Rosemary, to the Intuitive Happy Hour, where of course I met y'all. And even when I was there, I was in, but I still thought it was crazy.
Really? I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I was still like, okay. But at that point in time, I was so comfortable just accepting that I was going crazy. I was like, I remember y'all and thinking, y'all look normal. Y'all got a big job like I do. Yeah. And so that always kind of helped anchor it. But even at that, in the early days, I was still like very much trying to figure out what was going on. And did I really believe this? So
when was it solidified for you then?
March 2020.
Oh, okay. That's a very specific date.
Yep. Which we haven't talked about it yet. That's a future podcast.
Yeah. Our teacher had prepped us for this big event, and I believed her, and I was ready.
Yeah.
And that just cemented it for me.
Yeah.
There was no going back. Now, everyone here should know that I have moments. I've burned books.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Things.
Let's talk about that, because I think everyone goes through, we talk about ups and downs, because being spiritually awakened or enlightened does not mean love and light all the time.
It's not a linear journey.
There are hard times as much as there are good times. So, so if you don't mind being vulnerable about that.
Oh, yeah. So the worst thing I did was think it was going to be love and light all the time. I thought I was going to graduate to this point where it was, zen all the time. And when that didn't happen, I was extremely disappointed. So I had unrealistic expectations, and I just didn't know better. It's about navigating the light and the shadow, and maintaining yourself through it. So I definitely had moments where I was very disappointed when I thought I could manifest something and I didn't, or when I wanted a job or I didn't get it, or some other big hurdles, and I had the wrong expectations of what was going to happen. And I have videos of like burning my spiritual journals and burning my books and being really upset. But even when I was doing that, it was just an expression of my frustration. I don't think I've ever, since awakening, I don't think I've ever like truly walked away from it and said, you know, middle fingers up.
Yeah.
I think I've had moments of big feelings, but since getting into this, I've always truly understood in my heart, it's a part of who I am.
Well, and I think as you mentioned, we can be very disappointed if things don't go the way we think or want them to go. But likely hindsight, looking back, you can say, that wasn't meant for me.
And that's the beauty of getting to be on this for a while. Now I really understand. And we were talking about this too. I can kind of show you the buckets of the journey and see this beautiful progress. I was 330 pounds when I went and saw Wanda Ironheart. Mm-hmm. And I saw her every week for 5 months and lost 70 pounds in that time. So I was undergoing a spiritual, physical, and mental transformation through the power of energy healing. It was, and is still to this day, incredibly remarkable.
I think that's one thing that we can't speak enough about, which is our bodies can hold so much weight attached to negative energies or things that we just won't let go of. And your story really showcases how when you can release that energy and that negativity, the weight came off.
It did 110 pounds.
That's incredible.
Over many years, but truly, one of my teachers also mentioned that you'll see a lot of empaths or intuitives be larger because they build out a barrier because there's so much coming at them. And if they don't understand how to work with that energy, you actually kind of physically build up a barrier because of the energy and the feelings you have. And I really relate to that because now that I have a toolbox and I can manage the energy, I don't need that weight. But I think it served some purposes that I didn't fully understand. And once I got that under control, it really did just come off. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I think to your point, our bodies are a reflection of, could be stored trauma, but then, you know, weight can have a lot of causes, whether it's just trying to keep you grounded in this reality or a barrier for protection from whether it's, you know, empathic energies or other forms of protection. But when we can let go of all the excess that we don't need to carry, like you talked about when you went into your first Reiki session, that you were just carrying a lot of density. So whether that was carrying the pressure of the family and the job and the parents and all of life, essentially, when you were able to release that density, the body reacted as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've done this Reiki, you've had this experience, and then you are starting to go to intuitive happy hours. Is there a time where you started recognizing your psychic gifts? And did it happen all at once, or did you find them gradually?
I was being told from early in the process, the reason you're being drawn to this is you're gifted. I was told that. But there was a gap between being told that by teachers and healers and fully embracing and accepting it. So I really needed some proof and some case studies.
Many of us do.
And
that logical brain.
Again, over time, experienced those and got those and then got to witness others. And so it was one of those things, which is so cool now, because if I were talking to Lynley 5 years ago, when I was still trying to understand, is this real? Am I making it up? Am I really this intuitive? Like, now I can confidently say yes. At that time, things were happening and it was kind of freaking me out. And I wasn't 100% sure. So I had to have time and experiences to solidify it. At first, you know that it's real because you're drawn to it and you can't quit it. So that's how I knew it was real. But gaining community, friendships, seeing others go through it at the same time, seeing what others are experiencing, really did, I think, strengthen that understanding. And then, of course, just practicing it.
I was just going to ask you about that because we talk a lot about practice is necessary, and that was a big part of the Intuitive Happy Hours was practice. So do you feel that did you practice daily, weekly? Like, what did that look like for you? And then do you still feel like you need to practice, or does it just come naturally now?
Yes, and both. I did need to practice. And it wasn't to hone the tool. It was for the confidence and belief that it was there. So the practice, I thought I was practicing to get better, but I was actually practicing to build my confidence. Because there were things happening. I can read energy, and I could read energy then. I just didn't believe what I was seeing. Now I know. And that's really the big difference. And I didn't understand that. I also didn't understand the subtlety of it. So I'm looking for this IMAX experience. It's very subtle. And then I think the last question was really important. What was the last question?
Well, I said, do you still practice it today, or do
Yes.
you feel?
But now it's just part of my day. Like, I wake up and I go to Pilates. And Pilates is a place that I do a lot of my energy work on myself, my home, and those around me, if I'm just bubbling folks up. Because I have the time, space, and clarity to do it. So there's moments in my day where I'm using it so that I can use the tools. And Pilates happens to be one. Driving happens to be one. Driving here, I'm like setting the light, throwing in even some Reiki symbols, and doing it mostly on myself, right? So it's about the boundaries and the bubbles. I'm performing it most often on myself, dogs, probably my daughter, and home. And then other times I will use it with folks' permission, of course.
Which we love, because whenever we get together as a group, we get a little Reiki, which is lovely. So let's talk more about Reiki. And you are a Reiki master.
I am.
And I just want to call out, because I can't help talking human design. And based on your design, I feel like it's no surprise that Reiki spoke to you, just from the perspective of different gates that you have. So you have the gate 57, which is intuition. Mm-hmm. And so again, I think just knowing you're very deeply intuitive, you can sense what's off balance. Yeah. So you mentioned seeing energy. I do want to talk a little bit more about that. You've got the gate 59, which is intimacy. Mm-hmm. And so really deep connections with people, and having that emotional safety. So especially if you perform Reiki on others, I think having that feeling and connection to that person one-on-one is great. And then gate 6, which is connected to gate 59, it's called the gate of friction, but that's more at the I think the shadow, where this is really about making sure that you have emotional boundaries and when to engage and protect. And we just talked a lot about that. And so that comes very naturally for you. And that gate's also about supporting emotional healing through energetic presence. So, hello.
There you go.
And then the last one, which I love too, is gate 46. It's the love of body. And that's anchoring healing into the physical body. And so, again, these gates have breadth of meaning. But when you think about how they work in some of the things, the modalities that many of us have, it also is about encouraging people to connect with their physical form. And we just talked about that energy and how that changed your physicality and how much energy can impact that. And so again, that 46, I think also when you do it with others or support others through it, that love of body really shines for you. So I think that's really cool. So with that, what made you decide to become a Reiki master?
Looking back, I love a look back, because looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Y'all, I'm an executive in HR. I really was drawn to it.
Well, you had such a profound experience.
Yeah, there's no logic other than I thought, if this could make me feel so good, I wanted to make others feel good. And it was just one of those just innate things. Sign up for the class. Show up for the class. And even as I was going through the classes, I was like, I'm never going to do this. I remember telling my teacher, I'm never going to hang a shingle. I'm just here to learn. But I do practice. People seek me out and want this modality from me. And so I'm constantly surprised by that. And I think it'll just grow. But I couldn't not. That's the best description of it. When your intuition's guiding you and it's making it so easy to happen, it was just so easy. Oh, of course I'm going to take this class. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. So what clairs have you discovered in yourself? And I think everyone has, really all of them, but what are most prominent that you find?
I would say clairsentient and claircognizant, feeling and knowing. I do have a deep knowing. In fact, the awakening journey has deeply decreased my anxiety, because I used to just soak up other people's stuff because of that knowing and feeling. I can predict things like the green shirt and things that are going to happen, and it's beyond just putting context clues together. It's truly knowing. At this point in time, I'm constantly trying to just stay in my lane so that a lot of that noise is filtered out. And then when I want to hone into it, that's when I practice. So I'm more practicing the boundaries and staying in my bubble, because it can be very overwhelming to feel all of these other people's feelings.
Absolutely. Well, and you have the gate of breakthrough insight, so that naturally, those insights naturally come through. So let's talk about, because you do have feeling and knowing, how does that play into your corporate world?
This is a biggie. It's been different every part of the journey. So I am a talent management and talent development leader. So my whole career is based around people. Go figure.
Well, your incarnation cross would say that, yes, you're spot on. So
I'm a teacher. I should be serving people, which I do, way before my awakening. So whether or not you are awake, you're going to have a calling and you're going to serve that calling, whether or not the expression or energy is through the words we use or the ideas, you're already going to be on a path, which I certainly was. Also, that space is kind of like the perfect place to be as we move forward as a society. At first, I was really concerned. People are going to think I'm crazy and woo-woo, and I'm going to lose my job, and I want my job. And so I was very protective of it at first, and I very much had a line in the sand of corporate Lynley, home Lynley, right? Mm-hmm. And I almost like even dressed a little differently and acted a little differently. And I think that I'm really just the same person, right? I think over time, there was not so much an integration as much as the wall fell down, and now I'm just me. And what we practice is just a big toolbox, right? Mm-hmm. Just like I said, my awakening started in therapy. That's a tool. Mm-hmm. That's a tool that I recommend to people at work and in my personal life. Bubbles and, protecting our energy and meditation and gratitude and setting intentions are all things that are in our world and are powerful tools for the workplace. So I have helped launch meditation classes. I have held gratitude workshops. I have held intention setting workshops. Bringing those tools into the workplace just makes sense if they're going to make people feel better. Now, are they slightly rebranded? Yeah, they are, right? I have to meet people where they're at. And there's actually a lot of really great science backing a lot of our tools. So science is catching up. So I like to think I'm a bit more progressive on that forefront. But also I'm very optimistic that what I do with the technology advances are only going to grow. Like the need for people who can make a deep human connection and who can offer these tools in the workplace, it's only going to grow. So I feel like I want to be at the forefront offering these tools, and rebrand or not, whatever we call them, showing how they can make people feel better. So at this point in time, my woo-woo isn't really hidden anymore. Dana actually came to my workplace and did an optional, not required, optional astro pop-up happy hour. And people were so excited.
It was so fun. We had a great time.
Yeah. Shout out to my boss. She
Yes.
let that happen.
She let that happen.
But there's just so much interest in what we do. And so where we can give folks some info, I want that. Like Rosemary changed my life in a parking lot in August when she suggested this far out thing. And if I can help people and give tools and offerings, I want to do that in work or outside of work.
Have you ever gotten blowback or pushback when things may be a little bit out of the ordinary, or are people typically receptive?
I mean, they're not doing it to my face.
That's what I've said.
You
when
might be a
asked me
little
that.
scary. I don't know.
I think I've got a quirky brand going on, so I think it actually just ties in really well with what I've got going on. But if I look at 2016 Lynley and like all black and, you know, armored up with bigger physicality, I can definitely see a huge difference in how I present then and now. So I do think that people accept me how I am and know that this is a part of me. Mostly people are just interested, right? And I try to be respectful. This is my belief system. And just like Judaism or Catholicism, Taoist, it's a part of me. And I respect faithfulness in others. And I would try to kind of respect the same boundaries in the workplace, if that makes sense. So I think of it like that and try to navigate that way.
I think if people are open-minded enough, they absolutely, to your point, if they're one thing, it's being able to accept you for who you are, even if they believe it or not. They don't have to, right? But it's just to respect you as an individual and not downplay your belief system.
I will also say in this 10-year period, I've had an industry change. So I love the company I'm at, completely different industry. And I feel like I belong there, and I feel like I can be me there. And I know that that's not always the case because I haven't always been in that situation. So for those of you that do feel like you kind of have to hide parts of yourself, that's okay too. You do what you need to do to provide, but do know that at some point you may have options like me. I've had, I think, 3 jobs since my awakening. So I'm finally in a spot that I think I'm just accepted for being me, where I haven't always been in the corporate structures.
I think we could use a lot more people like you in senior positions who are willing to bring different modalities, and people, to your point, you said optional.
Yeah.
This is not required, but being a little bit more open-minded about different ways to help people, because that's ultimately what it is, right? You just mentioned the toolbox. All of these things are intended to help people, and who doesn't want a little help?
I just want to feel good. I don't know about y'all. Like, I want to be comfortable and happy. And when you're presented with real tools, that many of our tools are now being backed by science and data, who wouldn't want that? And also for me, I feel like it's part of my job to connect people with these resources. So I think I'm just very excited about the future, though, because there are more people like me, and I think we're going to see an expansion of these tools being available in the corporate setting.
Well, I think all of kind of what we've been talking about is through your awakening, through your journey, through learning about these tools, and now to where you're at in this point in your life, is that you are living more of your authenticity.
Yes.
And can do that in every area of life. There doesn't have to be a border or a barrier or any sort of separation between the areas of life, that you just are bringing more of your authentic self and feel more comfortable and confident doing that.
Yes.
And I think, we've heard this, like we know love is a very super high vibration, but the highest vibration out there is authenticity. So all of these tools are just really teaching us how to be more of our authentic selves, and accepting our differences and appreciating our differences and appreciating our sameness, at the same time. And so to be able to just live your most authentic life is when you can release all the heaviness and you just get to be who you are. And if these tools are a means to that end, of course, we all want that. And I'm seeing it more and more. I just had lunch with, or dinner with some friends the other night who I feel like I'm like, okay, it's happening. Like they're coming to this sort of dissatisfied stage in life, which is typically a precursor to there's got to be more, or there's got to be a way to feel better, or I'm not feeling good right now. So how do I get to feel good?
Yes.
And I'm just over here biting my tongue. I'm like, you just call me whenever you're ready. Nope, no pressure.
I love everything you said, Dana. I think I want to punctuate. There's been some low lows. And, in order to do something as random as show up to a lady's house and you don't even know what's about to happen, I mean, there could have been a cult in there. Could have been a serial killer. I had reached a pretty low spot that I was going to take anything legal, ethical, and moral, of course,
yes,
to help. And I think that one of the biggest misconceptions I had in my journey was that I was going to attain this spot where I didn't have rough times or hard times. And when I finally got the memo that there would be highs and there would be lows, and the lows are just as big of a gift as the highs, now when I'm feeling good, I appreciate it. I don't know what may happen. I don't know what turns might happen. Or maybe I do, because
you're psychic.
You are.
But
So true.
But it brings this appreciation that I really did not have before my awakening.
So I'm going to switch gears in a minute, but first I want to ask you, because you mentioned about going to Pilates and in the car and the energy and protection. Do you have a ritual or routine that you do, say, before you go into the office to protect that energy?
Yes, absolutely. I do a golden sun, and there's so many different variations of this. This one's from Deganit Noor, but a lot of my teachers have similar rituals. So the golden sun is just an envisioning of a ball of light. You can do it in your hands. You're doing it in your mind, right? You're envisioning a ball of light. You can make that ball bigger, and it's golden white light. And then I put it above my head, and then I allow it to shoot through my whole body. I like to do this in the morning when I like to go outside for maybe 2 to 3 minutes and walk in the grass. It's just a really great grounding tool. And it doesn't take 2 or 3 minutes to do a golden sun. It takes 2 or 3 seconds. I see the light. I see it come through. And I'm also using that time to be thankful for the day, thankful for all the good that's going to come, and then I keep it moving. And it's so routine at this point in time, I don't even realize how many times I'm doing it throughout the day. Like, I don't do it just that once. I'm doing it probably 10 or 15 times throughout the day, because it's just like hygiene for me. It's like putting on your deodorant. Do you remember putting on your deodorant? No, but you probably did. right?
Or maybe you should do a refresh just in case, right? Just in case.
Use natural deodorant like I do. You're going to need a refresh.
But we still put our deodorant on every day.
Yes, we do.
Which is why it all starts over the next day. And so it's like a hygienic tool. And I think when we talk about practice is just remembering the tools available until it becomes innate, like putting on your deodorant.
And that ritual becomes a habit. I think that's really important for people, especially today in today's environment and being in corporate America. I would say I did not protect my energy enough. So I love your routine, and I think what you just shared shows it can be very simple. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, because sometimes people think, oh, I don't have time to do the thing. No, it's a few minutes, like brushing your teeth, putting on your deodorant, and you could probably even do it in the shower, candidly.
You can do, I love a shower ritual. So a shower ritual, when the water's coming over my head, I'm just envisioning the light. It's really just it's a vision in your mind of light coming through you. That's it. It's not that serious, not that big. You don't need 30 minutes. You need 2 seconds, and you can habit stack. Right? Mm-hmm. James Clear, Atomic Habits. You can habit stack. If you take a shower every morning, you can simply envision the light going through you. And a lot of different traditions and religions have this. I actually got the shower ritual from a really good friend that's a Christian. And they have that, and they use that. So it's really just the intention and the seeing it and just doing it over and over again. 2 to 3 seconds tops.
Brilliant.
I think it's important to remind ourselves that we are not just humans. We are spirituals having human experience. So yeah, like there are so many aspects to ourselves that, like energy being a huge one, that we have as a society forgotten. So this, to your point, is we're just remembering it now. We're remembering that we're energetic beings in a physical body. So our physical body needs deodorant. Our energetic being needs a golden sun or a light shower.
Yes. Perfect.
I love
Perfectly
that.
said.
I like to summarize.
She does really well at that. Yeah.
So good.
She's very good at tweets. Very good. So you also have your own company.
I do.
And I want to talk about that a little bit because you also have a book.
Ah, yes.
The Pause. So tell us a little bit about your company and what inspired you to write this book.
Yeah. Well, I have to give a shout out to my friend, Vivian Hughes, who was the doula of the book and actually helped me launch my company. So I think we talked about March 2020 is when I knew I was in as far as my belief system and my gifts. And throughout the early COVID period, I think I started really understanding that long term, I will be working for myself. And that will probably have a corporate element to it, but it could have multiple verticals. And so I created LVS & Co. or LVS Connection as a start to launching multiple things from consulting for the corporate world as well as some private offerings. And with that, we talked about my rock bottom. You got to see some hard times that came my way in 2022 and really just shook up my entire life. And from that, because I'm ever the optimist, and always,
sometimes too much.
There is such a thing as toxic positivity. I really wanted to take that and make something from it. And I do consider myself an alchemist, a creator. And so with the help of Vivian, I was able to create this journal that was launched at the end of 2023. And it was truly inspired by the pause I needed to take in my life to get my shit back together, right? And so that was a beautiful byproduct of it. And I'm very, very proud of it. And I'm actually almost done with my next one, which is called Rewind to Fast Forward, and it's a reflection journal.
Oh my gosh. Hot off the presses.
Yeah.
We just
love
learned
it.
this. Exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Well, I wanted to bring this up because I think this is so important in the environment that we're in today. And basically, I don't know if you guys could see it, but it says navigating the space between a moment and your response. And we talk a lot about, we mentioned taking a pause and watching your reactions. And I think just it's a tumultuous time. We've also talked a lot about journaling and how that can help. And so I think Lynley provides the perfect solution. And I believe you can get this on Amazon.
Yes.
So if you guys want to look up Lynley VanSingel and the pause, and then be on the lookout for her new one.
Yes.
I can't wait for that.
Very
So exciting.
I love it.
And we talk about being a creator, and you absolutely are a creator.
Yeah.
And we all are.
Yes.
And I love that you're doing such visionary things with your creativity.
Thank
So
you.
that's amazing. Do you offer any kind of private sessions for Reiki for people?
You know, I do for friends and family. I'm open to it in the future, but my life has been kind of stacked in the corporate world. But I do by request.
Okay. But it sounds like I would love to. Is your Reiki practitioner still practicing?
Yes.
Maybe we put her in the show notes if
put her
people
in
are
the show
looking
notes,
for
yeah.
some Reiki.
And I always talk about this because I always say I've gone to every healer west of the Mississippi. Like I have a whole Rolodex, because that's been a really fun part of this experience, is just getting to go and experience different modalities has been so amazing. Like that's why I see you and Dana and all of the healers. So I will say, for me, one of my pieces of advice is, you know, maybe Google Reiki before you start.
Know what you're getting into.
But, you know, do the experience. You don't have to believe, but it's cool to know and feel some of these different things I would have never been exposed to. So lots of energy healers that I can send your way for the show notes.
Love it. Okay, this is a good one. Maybe
Per my human design.
maybe we close with this. If you could go back and give your pre-awakened self one piece of advice, what would it be?
There is no graduation.
You want to really level set those expectations.
You're not going to get to a point where it just is all love all the time. We want to aspire to that. But there's not a graduation. We're here in Earth School. We're learning lessons. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. This is a lifelong journey. It is not a degree you're going to get and then you're good. There will always be something more to learn. There will always be more lessons. And there will always be more people to teach and share with. So unfortunately, you don't get a graduation, but you do get to do this for the rest of your life.
Yay! Well, and I think too, you mentioned the low times, and we've talked a little bit about this, is that the low times are the opportunity for the growth.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have the low times, it would just be a party all the time, which isn't a bad thing. But
That's what it's
not,
like in spirit.
right?
Not
and,
in human
and-
form.
and not why we came here.
No, correct.
Well, I think I was sharing with you off camera, and this is probably important to say because I'm on the other side of it, but in these years, I've gone through a divorce. I've moved. I've been fired. And all of those things actually led me to being the best version of myself I've been in my whole life. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I have a beautiful relationship with my ex-husband. We're co-parenting in this wonderful way. He has found his way back to his spirituality through my journey. And I get to work at a company that I would have never gotten to go to if I hadn't been fired or I hadn't been looking. So all of the things will lead to something else, and there is light at that other point, and it really is worth it. So I think that's kind of the coolest piece for me, is to get to see that spiritual, physical, mental transformation over the past decade.
I think that's beautifully said. And sometimes we get to make choices. Like Dana got to choose to leave her job. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
Lynley had that experience. Again, I had a layoff. And I think it's really about the attitude and what you do with it. And you took lemons and made lemonade. Aww. Right? I mean, that's ultimately what it is. It's okay, if this isn't working, then what can? Yeah. And I think that's a light of hope for anyone and everyone to say, if things aren't going well for you, now's the time to maybe explore and say, okay, what could I do different?
The possibilities are as big as your imagination. We limit ourselves. I think for me, 2025, my hashtag or my saying this year has been think bigger. So if I could leave anyone with something, it's just think bigger. As big as your imagination will let you.
Beautiful. Anything else you want to add?
No. Okay, thanks for having me.
Well, we're excited. We're so happy you came. We're going to have you draw a card.
Oh, this is my favorite
part.
For
the collective. Okay. Let's see what we need to leave them with.
I saw the one on the bottom, so I won't cheat.
Don't cheat.
But I like to. Ooh, this is hilarious.
I'll hold it close. This is the flow card. And we actually talked with Vivian about being in the flow, and we just now talked with Lynley. It is about flow.
It's flowing.
Anything you want to add to that?
What do you get from this card?
Yeah.
It's hilarious to me because I am the biggest resistor and control freak. Hence the burning of the books when things don't go my way. So flow has been such a huge lesson for me, and still is, right? It's still something that I'm trying to learn every day. So I think this is just a funny nod from the universe because let it go and flow are probably the two biggest things I hear from all of my teachers.
And for those of us, I think, with defined head and ajna, because I feel the same way. And, we've talked a lot about our control issues. We have a lot of them. But I also do think practicing being in flow and the things that have almost forced you to do that, you are like a different person in the best way.
I am.
And it's beautiful for us to be able to see, we experience it from the outside, right? And so, of course, we're not as close to it, but to see that change in you has been phenomenal. And I do think this is telling everyone really how critical, if you can let go, things will flow. And again, they will flow down, but they will come back up. And you have to be really willing to ride that. And I see the moon, that's the light. There's always light. And that light will guide if you
and you're
listen.
The light.
You are the light.
The light can always be found within.
That's right.
Thank you for being such a light, Lynley.
Oh,
you are such a light.
Thank you.
It's been a joy. Thank you all for joining us on the Cosmic Catch Up. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for catching up with us on the Cosmic Catch Up. If today's episode sparked something in your soul, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow seekers. You can hang with us on Instagram at The Cosmic Catch-Up for behind-the-scenes updates and more cosmic goodness.
And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, we offer personal guidance through our individual practices. All the details are in the show notes. And if it's aligned, we trust you'll feel it. Until next time, keep following the magic. The content we share reflects our personal experiences, insights, and opinions. We're not medical, legal, or financial professionals, and we encourage you to always do your own research, trust your intuition, and seek guidance from qualified experts when needed. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This journey is yours to explore.